Hey guys, it's Brian from Weird WWII, and today we've got one of our oldest Weird War buddies. You've seen his work all over the internet. He originates from the cold wastes of Germany, but he's all over the board. He plays almost everything. He plays sci-fi, he plays pulp, he plays World War II, science fiction, fantasy. He's got that, and he is a master at the paintbrush, and he excels at the pewter women flesh. So he is excellent at the ladies. So I want to introduce you all to the creator of Table Terror blog, as well as everything on the net that we know about him. And today is my Weird War buddy that I haven't met yet until today. We haven't talked until today. This is Michi. Michi, what's up, buddy?
Hello, I'm here. And how are you?
Good, good. It's great to finally talk to you, man.
Yeah,
it's
a real-time link to Germany now you have.
I tell you, I'm telling you.
Yeah, great stuff.
We have known each other. Since, what did we say? Since like 2009?
Yeah, 12 years.
That was a long time, dude.
Yeah, it's quite a couple of years now.
That's wild. I mean, it's just. I remember when I started with the miniatures, and we talked. You did my paint jobs, and we just from then on, man, we've just been in and out and saying hi, and it's another testament of how technology is bringing us gamers together. I mean, we've never met, but we've known each other for 12 years.
Yeah, I remember you was running what the miniatures at that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Some quite cool miniatures there.
So you guys know Michi definitely from the Lead Adventure forum. He's all over that bad boy. And what other gaming communities are you on?
I started on the Guild. If you remember, you were also there.
Yep.
The Wargamers Guild from England, I think it was originally, but it doesn't exist anymore.
A lot of that stuff has gone to the wayside.
Some of the folks are around in Lead Adventure forum as well, and I think some other forums too. But I mainly stay at Lead Adventure forum. So there is not big browsing around for me because my time is a little bit limited. Yeah,
because you're all over it, man. You're in every category and every you're all over it.
I think it's a sign of the times. So the time is limited, the leisure time is limited, and you have to paint and you have to game. You're playing games, and if you are browsing all the time, then you have no time left for doing hobby stuff.
It's true. It's true. That internet can suck up that time, can it?
Yeah, really. Like computer games.
Oh man, I don't do my fiance does video games, and she'll get sucked into the zone, and just like decompress, and she's gone for hours on that bad boy.
No, I never did, and I never will do, I think.
Yeah, I just, when I was younger, I did some video games and I kind of got sucked into it, but I haven't in probably 10 years or so. I really kind of gave it all up for the crack that is the lead miniatures on the tabletop. I can't get enough of that.
Yeah, I prefer them to the hardware.
Oh man, yeah. And you prolific in your I love your battle reports, man. I love them. I mean, you really go the extra distance to make your train yard is phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And my favorite battle report you did is it's the Weird War one with the ship, the tanker ship.
Yeah, you mean the one with the Kraftstrahlkanone.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I know. I remember that one.
That's a great one.
It was a toy ship by Playmobil. I converted into a wargaming tabletop model, and we played it with lead miniatures, and it was a great game. I still remember it.
It was a fantastic. I mean, visually, it was amazing. It looked like did you use the Pulp Alley rules for that one?
No, it was Gaslight rules.
Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah, because you played with some of your pulp. And guys, his pulp games are fantastic. He played one with like, was it the Venetians invade, like the female aliens, and they trying to take over?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
It's like a kind of like, it has like a 1950s, sci-fi, black and white sci-fi feel to it.
Yeah, that was my intention. So we built up little billboards with Area 51 warning signs on it, and all that type stuff that belongs to a movie like that or a game like that, to get the fluff on the table,
Yep.
Yeah.
I've actually been out to Area 51. Well, not in it obviously, but taking a picture of those signs before. So it's just the desert, man. It's the middle of you gotta purposely drive out there because there ain't nothing out there. It's pretty interesting. It's just nothing. But they have those signs. Yeah, they have those signs up there.
Yeah, that was a great movie. I don't know how it's called in English, but it was about an alien called Paul. It was those two English guys traveling around in a camper van and visiting all those the sites there in Area 51 in Nevada, and it was quite funny. I loved that.
Yeah, that's a good one. What is that? I can't remember. That's the guy who did Shaun of the Dead, right? Those two guys.
Yeah.
They're pretty funny. The movies they make are good.
Simon Pegg is his name. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Simon Pegg, that's it. That's right. Nick Frost, that's right. Yeah, he ended up doing like Star Trek. Wasn't he like Scotty, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was Scotty in Star Trek.
Yeah, that's wild.
The prequels, yeah.
That's pretty wild. Well, so I got a couple questions for you, bud. First one is your origin in that. How did you tell me the story, how you got into all this, the painting, the modeling and the wargaming itself?
Yeah. It was, I was in primary school, I think. Elementary school is the real name in English, I guess. And really a little kid, 8 or 10 years old. And there was a comic magazine called Pips. And they had a gadget coming with the magazine every week. And one of those gadgets was an airfix kit by a fighter plane. So this was my first kit I built, and I was fascinated by it, and bought some little green army men. And so we started gaming with those in the mud, my brother and I. And that was the start. So gaming, not with a set of rules, but just throwing little rocks and things.
That's like it tends, from the people I talk to, that tends to be the very first war game they have, is throwing things at each other's army man.
And telling each other you're dead. And
you're dead, no, you're dead, no.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah, and then we had a model railroad layout. My father built it for us. And then we moved house. We moved from a house to a flat, and there was no space there for doing any big gaming stuff. And my brother and I shared a room when my sister was born. So she got her little her own room then. And we had to do something else. And I had a friend. I was 15 then, I think 15 or 16. And I had a friend who told me he knows a guy who is doing real gaming, and he has little like my little green army men, but made of metal. And I was very interested in it, and he took me to him. And I checked his display cabinets and all the stuff he had lying around. I've never seen such things, and it was mainly Games Workshop stuff at the time. And some Grenadier and Ralph and I don't know what else. And he was deeply in heavy metal music. So it was like getting on a trip from that day on. So I was listening to heavy metal then too. We were going to concerts. We started gaming, I started painting, and with the Humbrol animals
Yeah.
that time, and no shading, no washing, just simply block painting. And yeah, but I got into it. That was the start.
That's awesome. You know, it's funny because you're talking about the heavy metal. When I started gaming, like gaming, I think my first like real miniature war gaming was 40K, Rogue Traders 40K. And I was huge into I was a punk rock, but I was also listening to metal. So I guess maybe, you know, it's international. The wargaming scene, we're all like rockers.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
That's funny.
it was the 80s, and it
Yep.
was things like Judas Priest and Manowar and
Oh, Manowar. Best
Conan.
album covers.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, I loved that. It was a great time, and this was how I got into the hobby.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how did you, I mean, so, you know, I have to, your painting is incredible, man. I mean, and everybody who knows Michi knows his skill, and it's phenomenal. You know, talk about some of your, like their favorite paints, and like maybe the favorite, like the minis that you're really into, and what games are you really into right now?
So this is a complex question. I start with the paints. Yeah, as I said, it was the old enamels paints I used for starting the hobby, but I quickly changed to the water-based acrylics like Citadel and later Games Workshop, and there were some others made in Germany. I think you don't know them. And in the meantime, or meanwhile, I use only WWII.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they are prominent in the States too, aren't they? WWII?
Yeah.
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 How do you pronounce it?
Say it again.
WWII.
Oh, but yeah, Vallejo.
Okay.
Vallejo. I'm not sure if they're American. I mean, we have them in the States. I think they're either Italian or maybe Spanish. I'm not sure.
I think the name is Spanish. I think they are from Spain. Yeah,
it might be from Spain, but yeah, that's what I use. In fact, I've got a bunch of them right here.
Yeah, these are the ones. Yeah,
they're great. They're fantastic colors.
Yeah,
and they're not overly priced, in my opinion. I think they thin out pretty well, that you can use airbrush too.
Yeah, I don't have an airbrush. I don't use one. I just have my hand brush, and but I love the Vallejo colors. They are great. They are very fluid. They are very opaque. Yeah, and yeah, it's great results with them. I really love it.
Their paint goes a long way. I mean, that bottle can really do some good covering.
Yeah. So I limited down my range of colors I have. So mainly use some basic paints and black and white to lighten them up or darken them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. I used to have many more, but now it's a baby shoebox of paints I still use. Yeah, it's not a paint bottle rack on my painting.
Like the 150 colors in front of you or whatever.
Yeah, and the 3 paint method for a perfect shading. It's simply one basic color and white for highlighting. So I mix and I layer the highlights.
Yeah, my best friend Jason Stone, he's a superlative model maker and painter. And he's not a war gamer, but he's he's proficient in model making, shipbuilding, and all sorts. But anyway, he doesn't use any. He just uses primary colors. And this guy can mix any shade of paint on the planet. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, that's awesome. That shows the skill.
Yeah, that's what you say. But for me, if you're used to it, it's quite easy.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. So My recipe point is better pick a very dark color and then mix in white, and you can vary this with a little maybe some yellow for warmer tones or some blue for colder tones, and but it's mainly just adding white for getting lighter in your shading. So I don't use any washes for shading. I just build up my the differences in the tones of a certain color by layering.
Wow.
Yeah, and I completely lost the other two parts of your question.
Well, yeah. So like the minis that you like to paint, like what are your favorite mini lines to paint?
Yeah, I prefer metal, so I'm not limited to a certain range or a certain manufacturer. I really prefer painting metal, but I also have resin, and plastic is getting more and more on the market now.
Yeah.
Plastic is just as good, but I love to have the weight in my hands of metal. So
I'm a metal. I prefer metal as well.
Yeah, but you can't get everything in metal, so
Yeah.
some very, very nice sculpts are only cast in resin because of the many details they show.
And then, you know, even the 3D printing is starting to get there. It's starting to get like pretty good.
Yeah, I also have painted a couple of 3D painted things. The first ones were really rough, so they're not good prints or cast or whatever.
Yeah.
But they are really getting better, but it's still the same medium. It's still resin or plastics. It's not metal.
It's pretty wild. I mean, to think that you could, like, in theory, you know, just print up your whole army.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, and it's still you have to paint them, so you can't print them already painted, and that's a relief for me as a gamer and a hobbyist, that there is no geek coming around the corner and says, I have 1,000 points army already painted. It comes out of my printer, you nerd.
It's coming.
Wasting time painting your miniatures, and
it's coming, man. I guarantee you, give it 10 years, you'll just, like, everything will just come out pre-painted and however you want it, man. It's coming.
Yeah, believe me, I've seen that thing. You can go to a photo box and get a 3D printed picture of yourself in all the colors you were showing that day. So they print you with all the garments you are wearing and your suitcase and everything else, and everything is in color.
That's amazing.
I don't know how that works, but I've seen that, so it's not too far in the future again.
Yeah, I mean, geez, I don't know what our hobby is going to look like after, you know, when it becomes, you know, affordable for, you know, people like me that are techno stupid that can actually operate it. Then I don't know what the industry and the hobby is going to look like after that. It'll be pretty awesome, though, I think. Yeah.
You can pick yourself in a scale for your model railroad, or like a Barbie scale, whatever you want.
That's right. You can be your own hero on the tabletop.
Yes, indeed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a thing for the cosplayers. I think they can go there fully costumed and make a picture of them themselves, and
there you go. You play yourself. Yeah. That's kind of cool. I mean, think about, like, you know, if you play, like, you know, like 40K or something, you got that Imperial commander with your face, the stoic face of you looking on. Yeah. That's great. That'd be cool. I'd do it. I'd totally do it.
I don't know what the price is for such things, but I think it's affordable.
I mean, and if not, it will be in the future.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
It's pretty wild. Well, yeah. So what games are you playing now, man?
Yeah, at the moment I am starting to get into Star Wars Legion.
I saw your Stormtroopers, man. Those look sweet.
Yeah, those were not mine. Those were my pals.
Okay.
So we share our blocks. It's Doc and me.
That's right.
And the stormtroopers were his. So I already painted some rebel scum, and he pays the good Imperials. But I will do the other faction as well.
The Rebels. That's right. That's who I would play. The Rebels.
Yeah, I prefer the Imperials. I love them.
I do.
Yeah,
they got all the shiny, cool toys, all the cool guns and uniforms and stuff.
I love Vader and the Stormtroopers from the first moment I saw them.
Yeah,
back in '78 or whenever it was, when I was a kid.
I remember I saw that in the theater with my family in '78, and I remember that the opening scene, how it kind of freaked me out because I never seen anything like that. And I was pretty young. I think I was like 5 or something. And it's like one of my first memories as a kid was just that scene, the battle. I just remember that and just being like, what?
Yeah.
But so you must have loved the Rogue Squadron ending then.
The Rogue One movie, or what?
Oh yeah, the Rogue One, yeah.
Yeah, Rogue One, yeah. It's a perfect match for the old movie. So it ends where the other one starts. It's exactly the same scene. That's great. Yeah, yeah, I love that. When I was at the cinema, I really loved the old movies and didn't like the new ones as much. But Rogue One is really
Rogue One is the exception.
Yeah,
it's the exception to the new stuff that's come out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, really, I love that. Yeah, so this is Star Wars Legion is the one I am starting to play soon because not so much is painted yet, not enough to start a game. And then there's this Corona thing, this pandemic here.
Oh,
so you can't meet for gaming, so. We wait until summer is over. I got my first vaccination. Is vaccination the right word?
Yeah.
Okay. And in June, yeah, I think it says I will get the second one, and then it's possible to meet my pal. And
so Germany's still pretty much on lockdown.
Yeah, it's changing from day to day or from week to week. So if there are more people infected, then it will be locked something more. So some magazines will shut down, and you can't go out. There are no concerts. You can't go to any restaurant right now.
Yeah.
And maybe this will get better end of summer.
Well, this is the perfect time to start working on that lead pile, right? Start painting.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm doing my very best.
I think we all, I remember when we were on lockdown, that's what I was doing. I was painting and painting and painting, and I still got a lead pile.
Yeah.
But yeah, we on this side of the pond, America's starting to open up. And most of my gaming friends have just finished getting their second shot. So we're going to actually start trying to do small, like, gaming and whatnot. So hopefully we can get to rolling some more dice than we have been in the last year.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. Been crazy.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. So what, like, okay, before the crazy, Nurgle rot hit the planet, what were you, what's the gaming like in your area? Is there any gaming?
Yeah, there are several clubs around. I think it's like everywhere. There is a local store where you can meet, where you can do painting sessions or gaming sessions. They have separate room for doing that. There are conventions. It's a rather big community in Germany, I think. Maybe not as big as in Great Britain and Italy, maybe, but I think it's one of the biggest around in Europe.
Well, this might be a misconception, but aren't Germans really in love with board games? Isn't that a big thing in Germany? Board games?
Board games in general? Yeah, I think. Yeah. There was always a community. I know there was in the 1970s already and I think several war games ever existed since the world wars, since the real world wars, because there's a long tradition in military.
Yeah.
What do you say? Yeah. So on officer schools, I think they learn how to play war games to have their minds set up for strategic decisions. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the war games or rules for war games always existed, and they were taken from military schools to the public.
Gotcha.
So people were used to do that, and I think it's appealing for kids to have access to rule sets and toy soldiers and playing their games. Like I said, we did in the mud out there.
Yeah. I mean, we over here in the States was the same thing. You know, we growing up, I was playing with Star Wars, obviously. And the army men were always, the big green guys, and even like I remember buying as a kid the 172 scale little.
Yeah, I had these.
Like the soft plastic ones. You can't really paint those because when you start moving them, that paint kind of flecks off. At least the paint of the day did. But yeah, so playing Army Men has always been pretty prolific in my life because I had two older brothers too. So they were big into like gaming and like, the old Marks toy sets and stuff. We had all that crap. So we were always gaming some way with Army Men, but yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so are your kids, I know your kids are younger. Are they interested in what dad plays with?
Not so much, but they are interested in what I paint. So they ask, what are you doing? Tell me how you do it. Show me what you do. What will you do next? What is that in the drawer?
That's cool.
all that. They are interested in the crafting, in doing the execution of painting and modeling and building buildings. They assisted me doing an African village by just putting some sand on a cardboard and making roofs for the little huts and making some vegetation and so on.
Yeah, my little ones had no interest in it.
Not at all.
They'll walk by and they go, "Oh, that's neat," and they'll just walk off and go into their computer games or coloring books or drawing or whatever. Yeah, they just. My daughter's played a couple. We like board games as a family. We do a lot of board games, but not like miniature games. They just, it's too complicated. It's too much.
I think you need a strategy to do that, to start to get them ignited.
Yeah.
My plan is to wait 2 or 3 more years and start with Hero Quest. You know Hero Quest?
Yeah, Hero Quest. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a board game mainly, but with some aspects of a real war game. So there are miniatures there are cards, and there are spells and all that sword and sorcery stuff from the movies we saw when we were young. And I think I can transport that to my children as well.
I wish you the best with that. That's a great game. Do you have the original game, or did you take part in that the redo?
No, I have the original one twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it I can't remember who's doing the remake. Is it Kenner? No, not Kenner. They're not around anymore. But anyway, they're revamping the game. They're basically I think it's the exact same rule. Well, you probably know about it, but yeah. We took part of that Kickstarter, and we're just waiting. Whatever. I had it as a kid, but being growing up, and the next cool thing comes around and that stuff gets lost or sold or given away, and I swear you just regret it. So if you're listening to this, don't throw away your old board games or your miniatures.
Never do. Put them away in the attic or in a cupboard somewhere. But
just put them out of sight. and you'll be okay. You'll come back to him and go, oh yeah, I've got all that stuff upstairs. And you're like, ugh. But yeah, how many fortunes I've used to rebuy and to sell and to rebuy the same thing I had over and over.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us gamers are, guilty of that, selling stuff and then like regretting it and going back and spending way too much money to get it back.
And then it comes to hoarding and to lead piling and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's true. So, Legion, Star Wars Legion. So, anything else?
I started with Star Wars X-Wing with a little fighter that did playing dogfights with the fighter craft there. I tried Armada, but I didn't like it as much. It was too complex. It takes 3 hours at least, and it's not done in an hour. So X-Wing is faster, and you get into close contact, and I really like that. And these are the most popular things I played the last times. Before we had several tries into different pulp systems. It was Pulp Valley. Mm-hmm. I see the wallpaper behind you, and Pulp Valley. We started into pulp gaming with, I think it was by Buxerdu, called Blood and Swash. We tweaked the rules and used them in every genre, in every era, in every background or setup, and it was quite simple to tweak them and to get different weapons rules there as well. And we played it for years, really. It was a very simple system, and we loved it. So we tried to do In Her Majesty's Name for steampunk or Victorian science fiction stuff. Different Wild West systems, rule sets. Like Dracula's America was the last one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, several others as well. I don't remember every of them. So it was doing years of gaming and trying out what is the best.
Yeah, I guess, there's a few systems that I stick with and just play, but there's a lot of great rule sets out there, and just stuff that isn't even like still in production, but you can get out there. There's so many great games out there. If you do a little research and find them and do some play testing with them, you probably find some great stuff.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the internet helps you to get some advice of what's good and what's around and what's new and what's worth to try.
Yeah. I mean, and it's my big thing is just because it's new doesn't mean it's better, because there's games that I still play that have been, out of print for, 15, 20 years. So
yeah, you're right. For me, it's mainly if I'm interested in a certain subject, like a movie or a setup or something, I get into it in the real thing around it, the history or the science fiction story behind it, and so on. And then I take a look if there's any game that is aiming for that period or setup or background, and then I read about the games that are existing, and then I choose one, try it, and if it's good, then I leave it. I stick with that one, and I don't try another one.
Yeah.
So, because I'm getting old and I can't remember any of the rules that are.
Oh man, I know exactly what doing this Weird World War II channel. We're playing all these different systems. Yeah. And it's, you just like sometimes on a bad day, I'm getting older. I'm close to 50. I'm getting older. So those brain synapses aren't kicking off like they used to. And I'm like, okay, which game are we playing?
Yeah.
But so like if you find something and, if it's simple enough for you and it does exactly what you want, then, there's really no need to move forward if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Something new.
That's my way.
That's the economical way too. Save some money.
Yeah, I have a lot of buddies. They try out a new system every week. So they like take one example, playing World War I dogfights with fighter planes, and I don't know, the 5th or 6th system they're using. I couldn't remember any of the rules. I would mix and confuse anything. I couldn't remember. If I did every week another rule set, I couldn't live with that.
I mean, it's funny because I think gamers, miniature war gamers, and especially, I think we're all kind of collectors. We have that collector bug.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of our gaming becomes like a collection. So that's why we buy the new edition, the new rules, or we replace that old model of the same vehicle with the new model. I mean, it's just, I think it's a collecting bug that we have. And I mean, I've been guilty of that too back in my youth.
A little, I limit that. So Saga is a good example.
Oh, Saga,
for playing Dark Age games. I was so convinced by Saga that I said there can't be any other rule set that is better for me. So, and I even didn't try out Saga 2.0. So I stick with the first edition, and I'm not interested in trying out any other system. Others told me try Lion Rampant, or I don't know what it's called. It must be similar. And the new Saga, when it appeared, then I said no, I'm not interested in it. Show me, but I'm not interested in buying it. And I watched 1 or 2 games played by others, but it couldn't.
That's the one downfall of sticking with an older system is like you don't have that ability to just walk into a game store and play a game. Usually you have to find, like you were mentioning clubs, America doesn't really do clubs. And in my experience, I've never known, I mean, there's people who, like get together, but there's no like official club where they all come together and all that kind of stuff in my experience. So it's kind of challenging to try to find a player that is willing to play like an old system, if they're not, exposed to it, because, the retail shops, it's easy, you just walk in and there's, I'll give, Warhammer is a perfect example. Everybody knows the new system. You can just walk in and play. But it would be hard to do Saga's first edition, going into a shop and say, "Hey, who wants to play, Saga?"
Yeah,
But
yeah, you're right. Yeah. But usually it's if you go to a retail store over here and you are of a certain age and you see what somebody else is looking at in the shop, then you talk to him. And
that's
doing
true.
a little talk, and you will really quickly see he is interested in the same or in something else. But
that's true.
It is quite sure that he is interested in the same stuff because he is of your age. Usually it's a he and not a she. He is of your age, and so the interests are similar and the games are similar you are playing or have played in the past. And you can talk to each other about your favorite stuff, and you will find at least a little something that is
common ground,
a common ground, and you can meet for a game, and you can see if you can socialize with that one. So it's not gaming in clubs, but in private, and in clubs it's like that, just like that.
Yeah, we Texas has a pretty decent gaming convention circuit. They have lots of conventions here for gaming, and I've met a lot of like-minded people in these cons, and we still game together. So it's true. It gives you a chance to showcase your game, and people will come up and say, "Hey, that's cool. What is that?" And then you form that relationship, and there you go. You got a new gamer pal.
Yeah. But there are quite big distances for
Yeah.
you.
Well, it can be. Yeah. It takes like 3 weeks to get out of Texas. It's big.
Yeah.
It can be big. It can be. I'm right in the middle too, so I'm in the center of the state. So it takes from anywhere to get anywhere. It takes like a month to drive out of this damn place.
Yeah. And so usually the distances here are very short. So you have all the time you have people in an area of less than 20 kilometers or 20 miles, and you can make an appointment for every evening if you like.
Yeah,
you can meet somebody if it's not a pandemic then, but you can do an appointment for gaming every night.
Well, I got a question for it because Europe, there's tons of different countries in Europe. Are there different like gaming flavors? Is each country kind of similar? They kind of play the same stuff, or is there like a distinct country that is like, oh, we love Napoleonics, and that's like a majority of gamers play that, or what? Is there some kind of like regional flavor in gaming in Europe that you've noticed?
I'm not really experienced in that, but I think so. Yeah, I think you are right. I could imagine that the wargaming starting ground in Europe was the United Kingdom, and I think what the first things came from England, and so they developed in a different way than the rest of Europe did, and they still stay a little old-fashioned in some ways, but very avant-garde in other ways. So they have some really good ideas, new ideas, but they also stick to the old things that are overboard in the rest of the world, I think.
Right on.
Yeah.
So I also want to ask you, because this is you being, and guys, just so if you don't know, Michi has painted quite a few of our unique miniatures that we use in our Weird War gaming. And when I owned What the Miniatures, he was my painting guy that painted all the minis that I've made. And I've seen you play some Weird War, some quote unquote Weird War or pulp or whatever. So, and you're similar to with me, you enjoy like the kind of like the pinup kind of style and the old like grindhouse, like war movies kind of feel of your gaming. So with that, what would be your favorite kind of weird World War II like character, or even a specific character or type of character?
Red Skull.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's
because
great.
I have a soft spot for villains, and Red Skull is an arch enemy to everybody, I think.
He is. Yeah. He's a bastard.
Yeah. But really, I must admit, I'm not too deep into Marvel comics. I never read them when I was a kid, and I'm not too much in the Marvel universe. I really like the movies. I've seen them all, and they are good movies, I think. I can't see any bad thing in them. But Red Skull, the character, even in the older movies from the 1970s or 80s, he was always cool. He was kind of Darth Vader in World War II.
He was, yeah. He had all those like gadgets, and he had that. He had this gun that shot out like in the comic. Like I was a big Golden Age comic guy, so like the comics from like the 40s and stuff. And the Red Skull character always had like these gadgets, like it'd shoot out poison smoke, or he'd have all these jetpacks and whatever. So yeah, but this super intellect fascist, and you can't. I mean, he's like the ultimate bad guy. There's no redeeming qualities of him whatsoever. He's just the perfect bad guy. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Sums it up. Yeah.
Well, right on. So you go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I like him, because he is totally consequent.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't sway him. You can't make him see reason. He is just fixated on that that domination and like control and by any means necessary. It's great. He's a great character.
Yeah.
And then he's fighting Captain America. That's awesome. Those are great polar opposites. Captain America and Red Skull. Those are fantastic characters to play with.
Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to say? I mean, guys, I have to throw this out because I think it's fantastic. Now, Michi here is a musician as well. Now, we've talked about your musical taste and what you guys do. You want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah. I want the folks to hear about your musical adventures.
Yeah, we are doing medieval reenactments, my wife and me. So my wife already did when I met her for the first time. She had a little shop. She was making liquor from berries she collected and some herbs, and she sold that on medieval markets, and she played a bagpipe.
That's awesome.
She was always looking for a band, but she hadn't a band. And I joined her going to the markets and selling stuff like those drinking horns for the Vikings and the liquors. And it was fun. And she started to play puppetry. So Punch and Judy show.
Yeah.
And I said your puppets the puppetry is fun, but your puppets are crap. I make you better ones. And I started carving from wood. The hands and the heads, and building links for their arms from metal. And she sewed some clothes to clad them. And we have a dragon and a princess and a knight in shiny armor, and
That's
all
great.
you need a devil or two. All the characters you expect to find in a medieval playing piece. And we had fun for years going around with the puppetry, and found other musicians as well. They talked to each other, and finally we formed up a band, and we're playing medieval tunes with a bagpipe and drums and percussion. And I started singing, and it was fun and still is.
That's great.
But regretfully, we didn't do it for 2 years now. Because we had appointments, we had contracts, but all was cancelled.
Oh man, that sucks. Well, when things start to kind of get to some normalcy, you guys gonna try to get back to it?
Yeah, of course.
That's awesome.
Of course, yeah. I have a big van, and in the garage there is our tent and all our stuff, our medieval stuff to build up a camp and with the children, and that's great.
That's awesome. Do you have a link? Do you have any like a website or anything that shows any of that stuff in action?
We used to have one for the medieval stuff, but we canceled that. We don't run it anymore because it didn't help to get some contracts. So we are not on Facebook, but I think if you are not on Facebook, Facebook is the thing everybody is on, but we aren't, and so running a homepage is not helpful.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I gotcha. Well, is there any way, I mean, that folks can see your stuff? Is there any other sites maybe that you're on, or?
No, not really. I don't
know. I'm telling you guys, if you want to know how to get off the grid, talk to Michi. He knows how. He's like, I'll teach you how to disappear.
Maybe somebody filmed us and put us on YouTube. I'm not aware of that.
Right on. Well, that's fantastic, man. Listen, it is great talking to you. It's great to put, an actual, voice to, the years of us conversating, through our gaming and instant messages on LAF and the other various sites. It's we're going to have to do this more often now that we know how to do it, this technology.
yeah, next time maybe with a camera on. If I
Yeah.
try, if I find out how to do that, I have a camera, but I don't know why I'm not getting it running.
It's all good. Well, so definitely we'll do another one when we figure out that tech. But I also want to I'm gonna make you a little flag, a little banner, and then you're gonna be one of our guys in our gaming. So
yeah, appreciate it.
Watch our videos, and like, it's not my fault if I blow you up. It's just a game.
Yeah.
But guys, okay, so guys, I want you guys to check. I'm gonna leave a link to Michi's Table Terror, his blog, him and his buddy. They do some fantastic stuff. Look at all their their projects and all their battle reports, and and he's prolific on the Let Adventure forum. So if you don't know what that is, go check. I'll put a link to that down there too. Reach out to him, or make comments on his stuff. He's always been very friendly and very open to conversation with folks. So check out his stuff. It's fantastic. It is the best. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome. Hey, I mean it, man. You make some great stuff, and it's very entertaining. Totally entertaining. Well, yeah. I know it's getting late over there. It's like a 7-hour difference. So I'm sure it's getting long in the night over there. So I don't want to keep you too much longer. But again, guys, I'll leave links below, and check out Michi.
Bye.
All right. See you guys later. Again, we want to thank Michi for all the years of supporting the channel and my weird World War II endeavors. Great guy, superlative skill in painting, and just a really fantastic person. Be sure to check out the links that I leave below and check out all his cool stuff. Also, if you too want to be a friend of the channel, shoot a message to me at the link below, the address below. We don't take money from you, but if you want to donate your time, or if you want to donate, some stuff you got laying around that we could use for gaming or whatever it might be, we're more than happy to take some of that if you don't want it. And again, and if you do so, any friends of the channel, if you want to be interviewed, we'll do an interview with you as well, and we'll represent you as some sort of banner on the tabletop. So when we're playing our games, you'll be represented as a target on the battlefield. All right, guys. So again, check out all the links below, and if you want to help us out, if you want to be a friend of the channel, just shoot me a message, and we'll wrap and see what we can do. All right? Well, like always, whatever you do, keep it weird.